Just want to make a quick announcement. We are here on YouTube, but just want to say we are also now on.
Uh, Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yes, find us on Spotify, Apple Pod. Listen to us there. If you're not already listening to us there, go ahead and follow us. We'll put the links in the description.
Give us a follow, rate. It all helps.
Yes, you can do your laundry and listen to us now. Bye. All right, it is a Feel Good Tuesday. We are back on the Deep Dig, a sports pod. I am Drew, your host. My other host over there is...
What's up? I'm D.
It is Tuesday late afternoon. And I'm just letting you know right now, it's my day off, and I just cracked open a cold one. I had to. This Sierra Nevada sunny little thing.
I was going to say, that's a fucking LaCroix.
No. Don't be dissing LaCroix, by the way. My go-to drink right now is LaCroix vodka. And it's really living up to the hype for me. I mean,
that's a choice. That's a definite choice.
It's doing well. I get bad looks when people see it, but you know, I'm just gonna live my truth.
It's a choice. I don't know what to tell you. That's your life.
Let's just dig right into these topics for the week. We're gonna start off with Deebo Samuel landing in San Francisco with his trainer. Thoughts?
So just like the trainer, we about to get paid. He's caught on camera saying that. Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good. I think we all knew that this was going to be like what happens. Now it's just about timing. I know people have said in the past that, hey, this is the track record of the 49ers. They do deals at training camp. Now it just comes down to, what are they really waiting for? Are they waiting for Jimmy Garoppolo to be off the books to do like a real like front end type of deal? Are they looking to do something, tricky? Or is it just like, hey, you know what? We wanted for you to be here in person. Now it's our time. Let's go ahead and roll with it. What are your thoughts?
But that's my thing is, I don't think Jimmy's deal affects Deebo's deal at all. I don't think Jimmy getting off the books this season affects the Deebo contract talks, unless they are going to front load the shit out of it. And there's this they scrap this season for some reason and of the contract, and they pay him a crazy amount. I don't think that affects. They would just put that in the bonus, or they would put that into next season's part of the deal. I don't think.
You're right. Honestly,
I don't think those coincide.
It doesn't affect his contract now that I'm thinking about it, because Deebo still has to play out this year, and then he would see his contract extension next year. So that money would hit next.
And those would obviously come with like guarantees right off the top, which won't go into the salary cap this season. Give us some salary crap. Hey, thanks for clicking on this video and watching this far. Sorry to interrupt, but just want to let you know, if you could like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, it would really help us out. All right, thanks. Now, here's us again.
But do you think they are thinking about like, hey, let's chop some of this money up. If we're going to have Jimmy on the books, let's have him for 13 mil this year and X mil next year. And make it a more reasonable contract. And that way it's easier to ship out. Maybe they're doing some finagling there.
I mean, we've seen in the past people try to hold on to players and do that deal, or just be like, okay, well, if we're going to cut up this contract and keep Jimmy as a backup this year, or I hate to say it, but as a starter this year, and we do trim his contract in half, put half of it on next season and cut him next season or trade him next season, then that's like more money off the books for the Niners. So I could see that happening in some weird scenario where Jimmy can't get another team. The Niners don't want to move off him. They don't think Trey's ready. I mean, maybe this could be we really walked around the whole block to get to this affecting Deebo's contract in that scenario.
But all these things are a possibility.
But yeah,
if I were to tell you that was the scenario that plays out, would you be surprised?
I'd be a little surprised, but just from Jimmy staying on the roster this season, but I wouldn't be surprised like contract wise, like negotiation. If we took the players' names out of it, if we were just playing, this is a good lead in. If we were just playing Madden and like we were able to restructure contracts like that and not worry about players' feelings, I would totally do this. But when you're dealing with the locker room and like the leadership presence between Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, like I don't see this working out to where Jimmy stays. But it's a possibility at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, if we want to talk about the offseason as a whole, there was two things on the list before anything. It was get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and pay Deebo Samuel. And so far they've done neither. So I don't know. We'll see how it continues to play out.
Okay, but to be fair, let's get into this. Would you pay top dollar for the 13th best receiver in the league? Madden rankings have come out. The Madden overall ratings have came out. And I think Deebo Samuel was at 89, 87?
87.
He was an 87. He was the 13th ranked receiver. And it's just weird how I don't remember like a lot of like these sports talk shows going off and blowing up about Madden, but I think this is like such a dead time for news stories. I've seen every single sports personality talk about these Madden rankings, and there's a lot of debate going around. What do you think about the 13th spot for Deebo?
I would be hard pressed to say that there are 12 other wide receivers in the league that I would take over Deebo Samuel. I think it's pretty ridiculous that he's 13th. I could see. No, I can't see it. No, there's no way. I was gonna like make up some shit, like based off of stats this year. No, like he was his stat line as a just if we take out the rushing, just as a receiver was really good. So it's like you've seen flashes of what he can do consistently as a number one option. And now he's actually going to get more of that with Trey Lance. So it's like shit should be moving up the ladder for him, not like backing down.
Yeah, I think just seeing this from a Madden point of view, I can kind of see the argument. I'm not saying that he's the 13th best receiver. I think he's top 5, and we can discuss where we think he ranks. But I think Madden rankings are different than what the player is actually. I mean, Jamar Chase is like the 20th ranked receiver on this list on Madden. And I think Madden just factors these like obscure ratings in differently to where they don't know where the overall is going to fall until they put all these pieces in. So I think if you look in the video game sense, I mean, we've been playing Madden since before we liked football. Like me and you have grown up playing Madden. We know the game. There's all kinds of stats, and you're factoring in like the running, the jumping, the route running, like everything. And I think in Madden terms, you can break down Deebo's like, okay, maybe he's shorter, maybe he has like a low injury rating, maybe his route running is lower than other receivers, and you just have these little things that knock him down to where in real life it's like this guy's a baller. Like these factors don't matter in real life.
I see that as viable, but I also think it's bullshit when you take like the big picture approach. If you were to look at it and just like, okay, here's our rankings. Now let's zoom out by position. And it's like, oh, wait, like, no, this guy should be above this guy, this guy, this guy, Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Yeah, I think it's Mike Evans. Mike Evans.
I think there is this outside view by the Madden people where they don't think of football in the same way as football people think of it. They're simply looking at like, what do we rate this player at this specific thing? And then they add all those up, and it's like that doesn't translate into like these rankings are not the same as like the PFF top player rankings. They're just weighted completely differently.
I get that, but if you're gonna take,
so I don't put much stock into it.
Out of wide receiver stats, it'd be like, okay, well, what it's catching, which all right, let's he's had some drops. Let's go ahead and get that straight. But it's also acceleration, change of direction.
The boy got burst.
And then I would put in power because then his like yards after catch and yards after contact.
Where do you think that Deebo would rank in Madden as a running back though?
As a running back, pretty high.
I think he'd be about that like 85 to 89 range too as a running back.
Yeah.
I mean, the list is just ridiculous. Like, yeah, we can debate the top 5. D-Hops is number 4. I think that could be
Roids.
argued just off of just based off of his last season that he wasn't there.
Roids.
Justin Jefferson is number 6. I mean, he didn't have that big of a splash as much last season. I think
But
he's still top 10.
He's a certified badass.
Yeah. But I think it could just arguing against Deebo season. Come on. Mike Evans is number 7. And then we get into like the tie for number 8 is Terry McLaurin and Keenan Allen. Those guys should not be top 10. I think
Those 3 guys should not be there. Mike Evans is there because he's like big as fuck. That's it. Like, if you've even seen like their playoff run, both this season and last season, he had some drops.
Yeah. I could see in Madden, you just throw it up to Mike Evans, he'll go up and get it. I mean, that's 90, certified 90 right there. Terry, I actually thought that he should be top 10, and you were like pushing back against me, like this guy's not top 10.
Yes. So I seen someone post Terry McLaurin stats and Darnell Mooney stats. That Darnell Mooney actually smoked him. He had like pretty much the same thing, but he's had terrible quarterback play. And you can say the same thing about Terry McLaurin, but Terry McLaurin had some like gunslinger types that weren't afraid to throw it deep. And that's like made him look a lot better. I'm not saying he's like, oh, he's not up to that stat level, but if a guy like Darnell Mooney, who's just basically like running slant routes and like, hey, he's getting open on wide, like on 9s, but no one.
He's basically the only guy.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, well, this guy's stat line is way better.
I mean, all I have to see is that over the shoulder Terry McLaurin catch, like the over the shoulder falling down behind his back catch, and I got to put him top 10.
But I mean, think about your Madden roster. Who would you want? Would you want Terry McLaurin or would you want Deebo Samuel?
Oh, give me Deebo. Give me Deebo every time.
Would you want Mike Evans or would you want Deebo Samuel?
Deebo Samuel every time. If I get the right playbook where I can run those end arounds, I could throw some quick wide receiver screens. Give me Deebo. I mean, according to Madden, Amari Cooper is number 10.
Bro, his team didn't even want him.
A guy that got traded.
Browns.
A guy that got traded for a 5th round pick a couple months ago is the 10th best receiver on Madden.
Yeah, I'm gonna no. You made it all the way through this video. We really appreciate it. If you like this content, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and follow for more. And feel free to check out some of these videos and subscribe to it.